Well, hello YouTubers, and welcome back to the Holtzmichel channel. Well, today's kind of an interesting little note. We've got some hose here and some attachments for vacuum hose. How many of us haven't done this where you've gone out and you thought you bought the right size of hose and you can't get it in the adapter? So what do? Well, we need to make it bigger. Of course, the outfit that makes the hose, we won't take it back, so we're going to have to make use of the hose. So, with that in mind, we're going to have to stretch this out, make it bell-mouthed. And how we did that is just took an old steam flange here, turned it down just big enough to fit inside the adapter, and press it in. Made a lip here. Get up there and show you a lip so that this will fit onto this. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and run through one of these. Now what this disc does is keep the tin from collapsing, so that way when you chuck it up in the lathe, we're going to spin these on the lathe and actually make them bell-mouthed like this. Already got a few done here. Make them bell-mouthed so they go on nice and easy. And then I can insert the screw, mount them up on the machine, and away you go. Now, the attachment I made is for the lathe. It's kind of a homemade deal too. We'll go through that here as soon as we go over the lathe. So let me get this all set over there, and we'll go through all that. So now we're going to chuck up the workpiece here, and be sure when you get your plate inserted that it's flush with the bottom rim, of course. And then you got to put lots of gronk on this guy, otherwise it will pull out of the chuck. I was trying this with some other mains and it didn't work out so hot. Anyway, we'll bring you in and show you the tool here. So here we go. Just made a tool holder. Just took a 16mm bolt for a hub and piece of mild steel for the holder that is inserted here in the tool holder. Drilled and tapped, and then put a jam nut on the back so that way when you put this on the shaft you don't have any lateral play. You don't want to have any lateral play. I just drilled the center of this with a 16mm drill, and it's got plenty of clearance. I mean, not too sloppy, not too tight, just right, Goldilocks. So then what I did too is I took a piece of pre-hardened steel. This is an old hydraulic cylinder, and turned it down, put a little rim wheel on here, rounded these edges as best as I could, so that way when the tool is actually pressing on the tin, it doesn't cut. Because a sharp edge, if you're in thin metal like this is only 0.5 millimeter sheet metal. If you're in this kind of thin stuff and you're pushing against it with a sharp edge, it will cut it. So rounded this off as best as I could, chamfered the edges, yada yada yada. A lot of lathe work off camera, but thought I'd show you this tool here just to give you an idea what it's like. I also made a different wheel, this one here, that I was using initially to try and do it from the outside, but that didn't work too well. I was pressing against this piece that I had chucked up, and it worked, but it just didn't get enough done. So a friend of mine, or a colleague, suggested to spin it and press it in from the outside. So let me Fire this thing up. We're turning this. We're spinning this at 180 RPM. I could spin it faster, but 180 seems to do the job. I'm not sure what normally the RPMs are for spinning metal. I'm sure they're higher, but anyway, this seems to work okay, so I'll just stick with what works. First, I'm going to run it all the way in until the top of the bolt hits that old piece of flange, then back it off a little bit, and then fire it up. So now I'm going to run it on out. Then you see a bulge start forming. I'll do that on the, I'll bring the camera around on the next one. But I'll run the bulge out about, 1.5 millimeters or so, 2. And on the travel dial, I'll watch them take it out 4 millimeters, and then just rinse and repeat. Just make tracks. Yep, got to bring it out, dummy, not in. And there we go. Now we've got a bell-mouthed hose adapter. I'll bring you in and show you up close what it looks like. Alright, as you can see, it's quite bell-mouthed now. Spread out big enough to stick the hose in there, but doesn't look pretty, but it will do the job. See the bulge start forming. Like I said, I'm going to bring it out about 2 millimeters. Run it back another 4. The camera's going to follow with. See how it's mounted up on the support on the cross slide there. YouTubers. I hope this little flaring project was interesting to you. This is just something that I kind of did on the fly here. I wasn't really planning it out, trying to figure out new and creative ways of making this work. But anyway, if you guys have any thoughts or critiques, by all means, leave a comment in the comment section below. And we'll hope to see you guys again soon.